What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're back at it with more pick and predictions. I know this looks a little different than what it usually is, where we start off with the background and all the cool stuff that I do on the back end and stuff. But we're going to start off with just full face me. I know we love Easy Paradox. Got the Iowa gear on, got the Iowa in the background. Just so you guys know, I'm coming in here with an open mind. An open mind of like what's going to happen, what's going to be for this 12-team playoff. This is the 12-team playoff predictions for this week. I know some of you guys are still wondering where part 2 of the bowl game season is. That's coming out soon. I just wanted to wait a little bit. Those games will start to the beginning of January, but we're going to get right into it. Pause. This is Easy Paradox. Please like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed already. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Please enjoy the video. All right, now we're back. And I know some of you guys probably skipped ahead because you really wanted to see what happened. You probably skipped to the end of the bracket. Now you're here with me looking at first round. We have Notre Dame as the high favorite, 7.5 with an over-under of 51. This is going to be Friday, December 20th, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We have Indiana versus Notre Dame. This game is sold out. This game is set in Indiana. It's in Notre Dame. This game is sold out. It's going to be a banger. This game is going to be absolutely insane. We have Indiana coming off a season of 11-1. Their only loss is to Ohio State. Notre Dame coming off another season of 11-1. No conference, but only lost to one team, Northern Illinois. I know it seems so long ago to think about, but Indiana has been looking phenomenal this year, blowing teams out. Yeah, I know those teams were very good, but they were showing what they had at the end of the season against Purdue, 66 points. Ran it up. They were like, committee, please put us in. Please put us in. We want to be in the playoffs. I know we didn't compete too hard against Ohio State, but we're here. And then Notre Dame blowing teams out as well. 2 pick sixes near the end of the game on USC, just really solidifying their position in the playoffs. And this is going to be a very fun game. Very fun. I think this would be the most enjoyable game. It's too bad my first round. I'm going to be in Disneyland. I'm not going to be able to really watch most of these games in the first round. I have it up. I have the updates, maybe even a little bit of the preview, little clips. But I have to pick a team. And this team is going to be Notre Dame. I know in my bracket earlier I had Indiana winning, but this is the official picks and prediction coming from Easy Paradox. I know I do upsets all the time, but Notre Dame is catching W's on this. It's going to be super close. It's at home. Notre Dame's going to win 27-24. I think it's going to be very close. I think Indiana's going to compete at the highest level. They're going to try to win. But I just think they're just too young, too fresh to this system, too fresh to this type of talent, especially even with the James Madison teammates. They still don't have the experience to play at this highest level. So I don't think they're going to be able to get out of the first round. Next, we have is the first game, noon o'clock, December 21st, Saturday, SMU versus Penn State. 11 versus 6. Penn State coming off a phenomenal year. 2 losses. 1 loss in conference. Another loss at the championship game to both the best teams in the conference, Ohio State and Oregon. SMU is coming off a season of 2 losses, similar to Penn State. 1 loss to BYU out of conference, so they're undefeated in conference. Then they went to the ACC title game and crawled back and lost to Clemson. Unfortunately, they could have had the 3 seed, maybe a first-round bye, but they just couldn't handle business. They could have went to OT, but they just couldn't handle business. Unfortunately, now they're just squeaking in, and you already know what time it is. If you're fans of the channel, ring the bells, ring them. I don't think Penn State's going to win. I think Penn State is a fraud Big Ten team. They can't win big games, and I think this is the biggest game of their life, and they are not going to be able to do it. I think SMU is going to come out with prowess and win this game. After that devastating loss to Clemson, they're looking for vengeance. I know an undefeated season, not necessarily a full undefeated, but an undefeated conference record is hard to maintain going to that conference championship week, especially since you have never been there on the ACC against a very well-coached Clemson team. I know they're not the best team this year, but that coach is elite and still is elite. I know he's having a rough season, but he won the championship, so who knows. But I have SMU winning this 30-28. Next game we have is December 21st, same day, Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern, versus Clemson versus Texas. Texas is heavily favored in this game, minus 11.5. The over-under is 51.5. And there's a person in my comment section pretty weekly. He comes in to see what my Texas score is, and I tell you, he's upset every week. I always have Texas losing, and I know. I noticed it. I told him that that's not true. I went back and watched some of those clips. It was 100% true. I think I had Texas losing almost every week at the last 6 games. And who knows? Who knows what's going to happen here? Maybe I'll have them lose again. Maybe I'll have them win. I had them winning in the previous bracket if you stayed for that. But who knows? I might have an upset alert. Do I have an upset alert? I do not have an upset alert. I think Texas is going to dominate this game. Texas has something to prove. They lost to Georgia twice, but I don't think they're going to lose again. I think Texas is going to come out here with ease and dominate this game against this Clemson team that is just not consistent enough for me to say that they can compete in this game. I don't know if Texas is going to cover the 11.5, but I do think Texas is going to win by 2 scores, and I think that Texas is going to handle this game almost the entire way, maybe even 27-10, 27-14, and Clemson is going to try to claw its way back in the 4th. Next game we have is Ohio State versus Tennessee, similar to Texas. There's another person in my comment section that loves the Ohio State, but there's quite a few Ohio State fans in my comments, but Ohio State is another one of those teams where I was going similarly, but not as bad as Texas. Texas was like awful when it came to the pick and prediction on their side. They're against Tennessee at 8 o'clock. This is prime time. OSU's up -7. What's going to happen? Ohio State's coming off a vacation, as you could say. They just didn't play in the conference championship after losing that devastating loss to Michigan. Tennessee sitting at home eating cheese puffs, similar to Ohio State, just waiting it out. Now they're going to play each other in Buckeye Land. I have Ohio State coming on top of this one, 24-21. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Ohio State has something to prove in this one to say they're not frauds. Ryan Day needs something to prove to win his fans back because they are not happy. 4 losses in a row against Michigan, just unacceptable for an Ohio State fan. And if you know, you know. I know it's really hard for teams to understand the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. If you're an Alabama fan, you understand the Alabama-Auburn rivalry. If there was a team, if Nick Saban lost 4 years in a row against Auburn, there would be a price to pay on that team, even though Nick Saban is one of the best coaches in college football to ever live. And now we're back here with the 12-team playoff bracket. This is not going to be my official picks right here. This is going to be what I want to see happen for this 12-team. The script writers are already writing down what's going to happen, how it's going to be. I can see it now, the vision, and this is what I want to happen. This is kind of like my pick. After I go through the bracket and like how we're going to get there, and we're going to have the championship and everything, then we're going to go into my traditional like setup for picks for those first 4 games this weekend. So please stay tuned for that. Don't skip away. All right, so first game we have is Tennessee versus Ohio State. I know it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a fun game. We're not going to go too deep because we're going to be talking about that here pretty soon. But I have Tennessee losing the first round. And then next we have is Clemson versus Texas. Like I said, we're going to be going over certain picks next after this slide, but this is what I want. This doesn't necessarily mean this is going to be the pick I choose, so please stay tuned for that. The next one's going to have all the scores and all the over-unders and all that good stuff. Next, we have Texas versus Clemson. We have Clemson losing this one. The Longhorns are coming out with a W. I know you guys are looking at this and going, man, easy paradox, you've conformed to the man. And I'm like, nah. Because next we have is Indiana versus Notre Dame. And we have Indiana with the upset against Notre Dame. And then Penn State versus SMU. Some of you guys might be thinking, who's he going to choose? And you already knew. It's SMU. It's all roll Mustangs here on the channel. But then again, Penn State didn't really play anybody. Next round we have is ASU versus Texas. Who's going to win this? I have ASU coming on top on this one with the upset. Next we have is Ohio State versus Oregon. Oregon's coming out with the W. And then Indiana. And then Boise State coming out with the dub. Now we have this top 4. We have is the final 4. Oregon versus ASU. What do we have? We have is Oregon coming out with the W. Next is Boise versus Indiana. 8-9, 10-3. We have is Boise State. My pick is the rematch of the year. The script writers are typing it in there. The rematch of the century we have is Boise State against Oregon. I have as my winner Boise State Broncos. The Broncos with the W. I know some of you guys are sitting there going, they're already typing in the comments, how could you have the Broncos? This is not my official picks. It's not my official picks. You can be mad at me here in a second. It's not my official picks. This is just the bracket. It's just a bracket that I wanted to make a little cute little bracket for you guys. It's going to be fun. It's super fun and exciting. And that's going to be it for this video. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please stay tuned for part 2 of the rest of the bowls that's coming in either this week or next. And that's going to be it. Peace.